And we are back. We have a 10-minute delay in effect right now. Which should make both players happy. And no more stream sniping possible. Unfortunately for you guys, you will have to watch out the blank screen for around 10 minutes now. But I'm sure that won't be a problem. For most of you, you're following these players through the whole tournament. So we've gone ahead and given both players the chance to start playing. Naiman currently holding legendary rank number 3 on EU server. That should tell you guys how much Hearthstone he has played. He's also qualified for many tournaments. Been through many open brackets. We will also see the last Finnish player, Teuski, whose battle tag is Super Murloc. Damn Murlocs. Face off against him. So it will be a legendary match. Both players preparing their decks. The winner from this match will be going up against Peteros, who won his last semifinal 3-0.
Versus Valera.
Watch your back.
Victory!
Joining the match from Naiman's side of the board. Very strong starting hand. Only have to remove 2 cards. Fire War Axe and Armor Smith. Exactly what you want to see. These opposing player probably going for the Oil Rogue, which we can fairly assume is to be the case, given that the Tinker Sharp Sword Oil combined with the Healer is there. The Shiv, on the other hand, is not a card you usually see there. At least I haven't seen it. Maybe it is one of Super Murloc's own editions. It does enable you to mill the deck, or actually dig through the deck somewhat faster, so I understand the inclusion of it. And Naiman going for his turn 1 play. He could coin out the Armor Smith or the Fire War Axe, but there's really no need to do it right now. Saving the coin for a situation where you will actually need it makes a lot more sense. Super Murloc, you could also play down the Blood Mage Thalnos, but it would more than likely not be able to accomplish much. It's probably included in the deck for the spell damage effect to maximize the damage output at certain stages. And a Death Lord as well. Alright, so this is definitely not a rogue that I've accustomed to seeing anywhere on ladder. It's highly unusual for there to be a Death Lord included in a rogue list. Deciding to play down the Earthen Ring Farseer just as a vanilla 3/3 body on turn 3 over the Death Lord as well, so there could be some sort of combo action going with the Death Lord. Why else would you not play it? The only reason would be the fact that you want to get rid of this Armor Smith with the 3+1 damage, but you're already holding on to the Deadly Poison. So you do have the required answers to take care of it even with just the Death Lord. On the other hand, the Death Lord is a really bad card to hold into your hand, given that you're playing up against a Control Warrior. So the chances of maybe drawing into a Ragnaros or even a Gramash or what have you, one of the bigger legendary minions, is maybe a bit too risky. This Thalnos combined with the backstab into the Wicked Knife attack to remove the Armor Smith makes a certain amount of sense. Probably just going to renew the daggers after this and go for the Azure Drake play on turn 5. If Naiman decides to use the Fire War Axe to clear out the Blood Mage Thalnos, it's actually fairly good for the rogue player. Sort of wastes damage. Coining out maybe the Sludge Belcher over the Bomb Lobber makes a whole lot more sense. Other options are to just hero power and do nothing. In this matchup, it's not a bad option. It enables your Shield Slam since you are already holding on to 2 of them. And it seems to be paying off immediately, since he can next turn just pop down the Bomb Lobber, clear off the Azure Drake, let himself have a 3/3 on the board, and if the rogue plays anything else onto the board, he'll be able to armor up Shield Slam next turn. Easily handle whatever might be coming up. Shooting for 1 damage. This is the digging that I was talking to you guys about.
This guy's tough.
Also enabling SS7 Agent's combo very nicely. Could, in theory, play down the Deadly Poison this turn as well, since he is holding onto the Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil. And this dagger will probably be used as an offensive utility card. Just to clear his hand a little bit, so he has room to play Sprint on turn 7. There we go. For Naiman, the turn is fairly straightforward. Just slam into either Acolyte or Sludge. Sludge Belcher making a whole lot more sense. Since it isn't able to be killed with the Wicked Knife itself, and you don't really value the armor up at this stage that much. Able to combo the Eviscerate to do exactly 5 damage is good. And the opposing Sludge Belcher being handled perfectly. It's a shame that the Violet Teacher wasn't able to be played this turn, but the Azure Drake enabler for the exact lethal, of course, makes a lot more sense. Turn 5.
Speak to me.
And you're gonna see the aforementioned hero power into Shield Slam to take care of the 4-4. The Violet Teachers will now be able to sort of rampage on the board uncontested. The Execute being the only thing on the Warrior's Arsenal able to handle it. So we might see Violet Teacher into Wicked Knife attack to clear out this Acolyte of Pain.
I wonder.
Maybe even dropping the Eviscerate. No, there's no point in using the Eviscerate. Definitely not. Just renewing the daggers after that. Other options are, well, using the Deathlord and the Violet Teacher might be an option. Just sprinting puts you up to 9 cards, which with your draw puts you to 10, but it leaves you with an empty board. So empty board is not a good situation. Spin, especially when you want to be in a situation where you're sure you'll have more options to deal with whatever the warrior pushes out onto the board. Coining out Alexstrasza right now, offensively, is in my opinion one of the better plays. You can also try to fish, like Naiman is doing right now. Fish for one of those bigger drops from your deck. Let's see what we get. Dr. Boom without the Battle Cry. That's actually one of the worst options to get, given that you want the Battle Cry Boom bots pretty much in all situations. Opting not to play either Armidsmith or Cruel Taskmaster, due to the fact that the Armidsmith would be easily removable with the Violet Teacher plus anything, really. So that fishing attempt, in my opinion, backfired pretty badly. You could have just gone for the Coin Alexstrasza play, forcing the opposing rogue to handle the 8 body. Yes, it does have the options available to it, but usually the rogue would at least have to use 2 cards for it. Maybe even the Violet Teacher itself combined with that, so we'll have to wait and see. Sprinting for the Eviscerate combo means that the Dr. Boom will be killable.
I am ready to learn.
Do you really want to sacrifice your Violet Teacher right now? Sapping the Dr. Boom, not a good idea. It enables the Boom bots, which you just got rid of for free. You could just dagger up.
Choose soon.
Dagger up, go for face. Oh yeah, you want to get rid of the 7/7.
I am ready to learn.
There we go. No more board presence left for Naiman. The 1/1s, easily removable with Baron Geddon. Perfect situation for you to use it. Clearing out the rogue board. Pushing out a major 7/5 body. And since this is an oil rogue, you know there's not going to be a BGH. So it's not that big of a deal. Even if he does have one BGH in there waiting, it's better to use it on the Geddon instead of the Alex or the enraged Grimage.
Many options.
The sap on the Geddon might work. It delays the interactions or the attacks from Geddon for at least one turn. Don't really have a lot of other options.
So many.
Playing Violet Teacher. Maybe prepping out the Tinker's Oil might be an option.
I am ready to learn.
Or sapping with the prep. That's also an option. Backstab only deals 2, but then you can kill it off with the Wicked Knife. I obviously go for the sap play. It is a big tempo swing.
I am ready to learn.
Sticks.
But, on the other hand, yeah, the Geddon being played down again kills all of these Violet Apprentices. The advantage that you got from that turn, from all that spell synergy popping these 3 Violet Apprentices, will all be gone once the Battering gets played again. Or just this Whirlwind even. With the Axe attack, the whole board will be cleared. So definitely the Geddon's removal would have been the better option for our Finnish player, Teuski. And cheers to you guys in the chat as well. Thank you for watching. I would ask you guys to keep this chat in English
So many
only,
options.
so other guys can understand you as well. So Teuski's basically just fishing right now, hoping to find an answer. He does have the dagger available for him to use, which he should have used last turn. In all honesty, he should have gone for the backstab dagger removal and still be left with that whole big board of the Violet Teacher minions and the Violet Teacher itself. In this current situation, as the game stands, you have 12 damage available from Grom plus Cruel Taskmaster. So all Naiman really needs is any sort of weapon. There we go. Any sort of weapon to go for the face this turn. Maybe build Armor Smith, Hero Power. Start preparing for next turn's lethal. There's no reason to play anything else right now. To play the Alex effectively does nothing, and the Rogue might still have the second sap, making your previous turn completely empty. Basing this lethal for next turn is actually not in Naiman's mind. He decides to clear the board out with from the 5/5 Lotheb. On the other hand, yeah, you might as well, because you can attack with the weapon next turn. Anyway, it's not wasted. You still have the 4/1 charge available to you. And this way, the Rogue doesn't have any minions left on the board to use the oil on. There's no possibilities of any sort of Blade Flurry trickery with oils for maximum damage potential. But right now, unless Teuski somehow gets a taunt, which the Oil Rogue doesn't really run, I think the game is over. There's no way for him to burst down 17 damage, especially not with 3 mana. Just gonna go ahead and attack face, renew the daggers, stop the turn, and lose the game. It will be 1-0 for our Kazakhstani player, Ole Naiman. Or Ole Naiman, I'm not sure how his name is pronounced, sorry about that. He should definitely use the Cruel Taskmaster right now. And he does. Just a little bit of BM with that coin play there in between. It's a pretty bad matchup to begin with, Oil Rogue versus Warrior. We'll wait and see how the next matchup goes. While waiting, I'll go ahead and check what the classes available to the players were. Naiman has played at least Warrior, Hunter, and Paladin. So Naiman's lineup is Warrior, Hunter, Paladin. We can expect to see Hunter and Paladin. And Teuski has played Rogue, Hunter, and Paladin as well. So we might be seeing a Paladin mirror match. Let's join this battle on Teuski's side this time. It is a Paladin mirror match. There we go.
I will fight with honor.
My sightseeing skills are still in order. Throwing out 2 of his starting cards, only keeping the Shredder from Teuski, and for Naiman, taking out, I think it was an equality and a weapon that he threw out, getting the Consecration second Shredder instead. Basic mid-range Paladin with the Quartermaster muster for battle. Synergy
Reporting for duty.
against pretty much the exactly same deck. Probably gonna play down the shielded minibot over the hero ability, although it will get destroyed by just this hero ability plus the attack from the zombie chow. It'll still be better value than just popping the 1/1 down.
Reporting for duty.
This upcoming muster for battle turn from Naiman will be able to clear the board nicely. On the following turn,
For duty.
also making the damage from zombie chow negate itself nicely. Pilot Shredder, really the only option from Teuski right now. Maybe removing one of those 101s with his own to ensure that if the opposing player does have the coin in combination with the Quartermaster, it doesn't get quite as much value. He could opt to go for the Pilot Shredder of his own, but you do have 2 Silver Hand recruits already on the board, which would be able to handle this opposing Shredder very, very nicely. It does give you
I wonder.
13 stats for 5 mana, effectively. 7, 9, 11. I'm sure, sorry, 11 stats for 5 mana. So it does make a lot of sense. He opts to go for the play, clearing out the 4/3. And the Mistress of Pain getting popped easily with the Light's Justice in combination with this 3/3 recruit. It's looking good for Naiman when it comes to the board state. Super Murloc or Teuski on her brackets would need to draw into either the Pyromancer equality combo for that, or maybe a Consecration for the following turns.
I wonder.
On this turn, if you play the Lothep, yes, it'll probably trade with both of these minions, stop any spells from coming from the opposing side of the table, and it does fill the curve pretty nicely. Definitely not playing the Antique Heal bot, it makes no sense. And no targets for the Peacekeeper basically means that the Lothep is the only option. And the Coghammer, where do we get the Divine Shield? The 3/2.
Reporting for duty.
This means that you only lose one of those. Actually, you don't lose any of those minions, given that the Coghammer gives you the needed 2 attack damage. So it's a 50% chance to hit the correct minion, and so to speak, to get the options removed with your hero attack. That Lothep very, very effectively being neutralized. Once again, looking for that Consecration or any other combination.
Wonder.
Other Peacekeeper, not doing a whole lot. Maybe Equality Knife Juggler Hero Power, or just Knife Juggler Shield Bot Hero Power. It is really risky, especially given that Knife Juggler is easily removable with the Coghammer and the Shielded Minibot as well, if they decide to use these Silver Hand recruits to just pop the Divine Shield away. Peacekeeper into Minibot. Maybe. Quell the damage output, not sacrifice your Knife Juggler in such a horribly bad manner. It's not mana effective,
Move quickly.
but pretty much all of these options are poor for Teuski at the moment. I understand the decision to go with the Peacekeeper instead. Forces the opposing player to use more cards to deal with the board state.
Arms, men.
The second Quartermaster foiling all the plans from Teuski's side, enabling him to once again clear the board without any major issues. And now if he doesn't draw into either Consecration or the Pyromancer, it's looking very, 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 very grim. Even with the Sylvanas down on the board. Yeah, he might be able to swing it in his favor with a very good mind control into a big target. But you would optimally want to use the Sylvanas only for the opposing player's Tyrion or something high value. None of these minions really are worthy of the mind control. It will only slow down the game somewhat. You might be stuck with something like the Zombie Chow in your hand. Playing just the heal bot for a heal of 5 into a hero power. Can't blame him. Both of these minions are too expensive and too valuable to just throw out there into a board like this. Naiman doesn't really mind throwing down one of these Shredders. The Death Rattle ensures that yes, there will be something left on the board even if it dies. Fairly straightforward. Once you go to the board, just go for face with everything you've got. True Silver Champion would be able to clear out either the Shredder, the Recruit, or one of the Quartermasters. If you get lucky, you might get Doomsayer from the opposing Shredder. Just Lay on Hands, also a fine option. It's perfect on the curve. Lets you draw more cards, looking for that combo with your equality. Do you get it? And nope, you don't. On the other hand, double Knife Juggler into a muster ensures that you get 6 free damage from the muster. Plus, combine that with 1 extra from the Knife Juggler itself.
Reporting for duty.
7 damage with that card. Is it enough? It's unlikely. He can get the heal from the Zombie Chow by attacking with the True Silver Champion. But is that enough either? It'll be 16 hit points. The opposing player has more than 16, actually 18 hit points left, or 18 damage left on the board even with that. Is there any way for you to draw? You can't activate the Acolyte. Basically your only play is to go Equality, Knife Juggler. That's 4 mana. Knife Juggler number 2. 6 mana into Muster for Battle. 9 mana. Throw out the 7 damage. Hope it hits as many of those 1 hit point minions as possible. Hope it hits this 2-1. Zombie Chow. There we go. To get the heal off. Maybe even hit this 4-1. There we go. Best possible targets. Except for those 1-1s. The Quartermaster would have been better than one of those 1-1s. But it is a very, very nice double Knife Juggler into a Master for Teuski. Able to turn the tide of battle, at least for a short while, in his favor. Unfortunately though, that Consecration completely wipes the board without much hassle. Giving the upper hand to Naiman once again, threatening with 8 damage on the field. He would only need 4 from his hand. True Silver could once again be used to clear out the 4-3.
I have no time for games.
If he decides to play the Shredder of his own, then he won't be able to clear out 4-3. And he's just hoping that Naiman doesn't have the 4 damage burst. Which indeed he doesn't. So in a way it is working out for Teuski.
I have no time.
Playing
for
out your own
games.
Sylvanas after the opposing player has played their Sylvanas makes the situation much better. For the mind controls to proc, it would proc in order of this one first and then that one first, after it. So you could go win one, lose one back. 8 damage with this sort of hand. No way for you to draw cards out of the Acolyte. No way for you to really clear the board. Enough, since the weapon itself provides 4 damage. You would have to get the Doomsayer, and even with the Doomsayer, this Nerubian Egg will pop a 4-4 out in the board without, if you don't use the Silence from the R&B Cal. Nope, that doesn't help you. Even if one equalities right now. There is no way to really make use of that. You can silence out the mind control from the opposing Sylvanas. Clear the board somewhat. True Silver out to 3-2. So the Juggler doesn't provide any bigger threats anymore. And still, you're at 7. And if ones you can count 4, 6, 7, that's lethal.
That belongs.
Even getting museumed in the end. Naiman showing no respect and finishing the game to lead 2-0 with his Paladin and his Warrior against Teuski. If I remember correctly, the last deck for Naiman is the Hunter. And Teuski still has his Rogue, Paladin, and Mage, if I remember correctly. Was it Druid? Well, we'll wait and see. Naiman's options are limited to just that one class. Teuski is at an advantage knowing what it is. But it might not come into play anyway, since it is fairly hard to hard counter something when you don't have the exact hard counter. Instead, opting to go for the coin toss of mid-range Hunter versus mid-range Hunter. I remembered right, it was Hunter. Oh, this is actually Face Hunter, I believe. Whenever you see Wolf Rider. Yes, Wolf Rider means that this is full-on Face Hunter. With the Glaive Zuka. First turn Leper Gnome, coin Work and Infiltrator into Glaive Zuka. Yep. It's looking like a very, very aggressive start. You might actually not coin out the Leper Gnome, given that there is the Whip Spinner on the board, but there's very little reason not to, since even if he trades the Web Spinner into the Leper Gnome, he'll still have the target for the Glaive Zuka up. We'll see the Haunted Creeper come down over the Hero Power, of course, providing some presence onto the board even if it dies, and being able to respond to the Worgen. Like I said, full-on Face Hunter might actually not attack with the 3-1. Leaving it stealth makes a whole lot of sense. The only threat that the opposing player might throw down right now is traps, which would annul the Infiltrator, but on the other hand, this way the Creeper is unable to trade away with the Infiltrator. Considering about using the Abusive Sergeant on this Haunted Creeper, personally, if you've seen this aggressive of a start from the opposing Hunter, you want to build your board. You want to be able to respond to the threats that they throw down. So I think it's a good idea to play down the Abusive this turn already, so he'll be able to attack. Naiman's options to use the Unleash right now would require for him to attack the Haunted Creeper first, and using the Unleash is just a board clear. Always a bit dodgy. On the other hand, it would enable the Infiltrator to start attacking, and to be able to use that 3 damage output is always nice. And there we go. The other option would have been the Arcane Golem, which would give the opposing player a Mana Crystal, and at this stage you don't want to do that, especially given that he needs more mana to be able to activate his defenses. We actually see a Gazrilla in his deck. This signals to me that it is a bit of an experimental deck. I have yet to see Gazrilla being utilized to its maximum potential. It's usually too slow to provide any significant threat, and is vulnerable to BGH, etc, etc. Fairly straightforward plays, the Shredder being the only 4 mana minion from Teuski, and then from Naiman the hero power into just a Haunted Creeper. These Sludge Belchers might end up being MVPs in this matchup, protecting Teuski's face. Naiman top decking the Iron Beak Owl for the perfect response in this situation. That must sting. You know you're facing a Face Hunter, you get your perfect answer. The Face Hunter gets one of his few silences, effectively making your taunt worth absolutely nothing. Threatening lethal next turn unless you clear the whole board. You do have the second Sludge Belcher. You have the Unleash the Hounds option. Unleash the Hounds clears the board completely when you attack the Sludge Belcher into the Haunted Creeper first. I think that's the best option to go for. I'm playing the Mad Scientist after that, using the Polished Raider just for face damage. Naiman is threatening 6 damage currently off of his hand, 8 with the trap. There we go, the Unleash to clear the board. Just filling out the board perfectly, no overfill.
I'll show them all.
And he should kill the spiders. Absolutely should kill the spiders. Unless we're seeing a graphical bug, he definitely needs to clear the board completely, because it is lethal if he doesn't. There we go. Knife Juggler, by itself, not worth much. But you do threaten aggression with it, and the opposing player has to handle it. So you play it out. It could combo off with an Unleash, but you've already used one, so it's unlikely to pop up again. And Teuski does hold 9 damage on the board, so he would only need 7 more. That's just a single kill command with a Charging Beast. Maybe Animal Companion into kill command. That would be lethal to kill off Naiman if he got Hoffer out of it. Is it lethal anyway? That's... Nope, you would need the Beast to activate it. Savannah, Gazrilla, not enough. Sludge Belcher, hero ability. The most likely option we're gonna see here. And popping the Explosive Trap first is a mistake. Is a really, really bad mistake, in fact. You should have used the Mad Scientist to clear out the Knife Juggler first, just in case it was an explosive. Now you're forced to use your Polished Shredder just to take out 3-2. Getting a nice taunt out of it, so that's good, but if you would have used the 2-2 out of it, you would have set yourself up for a better future turn. Since he has the Iron Beak Owl, if he had not gotten this taunt out of the Shredder, he actually would be dead right now. So, it's a Freezing Trap. Wouldn't be dead right now. Almost, but no, Sigor. So, the Steady Shot providing a nice 2-turn clock for him, but I don't think that's enough. There's 8 damage on the board, plus a kill command, even without a Beast that is lethal. So Teuski is able to take it to 1-2 against Naiman. Finland versus Kazakhstan. Some dignity preserved for us Finns. Thank you. Naiman will only be able to field his hunter from now on. So the paladin and rogue. Well, the rogue is weak against face hunter. The face hunter is very, very strong against it, but the paladin might be able to hold its own. Sorry about that small audio mishap you might have heard just now. I think you might have heard that. Let's hope that doesn't again happen anytime soon. Let's head back into the eyes of the Finn. He's probably picked the paladin, and he has picked the paladin because it has a better chance to make a significant impact against the face hunter. Definitely cycling out Sylvanas. The True Silver Champion also might be a good option to cycle out since you won't have any proper targets for it. This equality effectively does nothing against the face hunter. So these three cards would be nice to see cycled away. Naiman has nothing to play on turn 1, so that's good for Teuski. He's considering his options, and all those three get cycled out, like predicted. Fortunately gets the Sludge Belcher, and fortunately gets a very nice on-the-curve Piloted Shredder. Coining out either Muster or Coghammer, more than likely coining out Muster on turn 2 into Coghammer, Shredder, Belcher. Very nice curve. Naiman getting the Worgen Infiltrator from his draw. But one turn too late. Had it been his turn 1 draw, he would have of course played it. But it was his turn 2 draw, forcing him to choose between Creeper and Juggler. Creeper has more persistence on the board. It doesn't matter if you lose the Creeper either that much, so I understand why he didn't play the Juggler yet, although the Juggler would have been more pressure onto the board. Getting the Glaive Zuka, once again, 1 mana off the curve. Not perfect. Opting to silence down the Haunted Creeper is actually a pretty good choice, because there probably won't be much better options as silence targets go in a face hunter deck. Trying to juggle out the Owl, no luck there, forcing to use the Haunted Creeper to take it out. You can go for the Muster, you can go for the Coin Shredder. The Muster suffers from the fact that you cannot deal with the Knife Juggler this turn, and the Juggler's hits will probably take out many of your 1/1s. This Coghammer would be perfect to take out the Juggler, but you miss out on the Divine Shield and Taunt. So instead of missing out on the Divine Shield and Taunt, Teuski decides he wants there to be more targets, more possibilities to soak up damage, maybe activate the Coghammer. Unfortunately for them though, this top deck, Unleash the Hounds, basically makes it completely worthless. The Muster for battle, not doing anything, being cleared perfectly by the Face Hunter. It is not looking good, even with the Sludge Belcher coming down. Teuski will be struggling against this side. He will remove the 2/1 Infiltrator with his weapon, but all it needs right now is a single juggle into the Belcher or the top-decked Owl, and the Hunter is once again scot-free. Abusive Sergeant could also be used on Juggler to remove out the Sludge Belcher. Maybe Glaive Zuka, if it gives the +1 attack. It gives it to the Knife Juggler. Well, in this case the Abusive Sergeant might be used on the Hound. Abusive Sergeant on the Hound attack the Belcher, take it out to the Glaive Zuka, then use the Knife Juggler to take out the 1/2. Wolf Rider itself, also an option. Doesn't matter where the juggle hits. you can still preserve this knife juggler if you do it properly, and he does do it properly. The only difference with this play compared to the other one is the fact that instead of having a 2-1 on the board, you have a 1-1 on the board. And you have discarded your 3 attack minion charge. You could have used the steady shot in combination with the abusive surgeon instead, so in a way that wasn't as great as my option would have been. But I understand why that play was done as well, because it's less dependent on the mana curve. 3 mana minion isn't as easy to play as a 1 mana minion. Teuski definitely needs the taunts to be coming up right now. If nothing else, he'll play down minion for there to be a target for the Polished Shredder. Interesting choice to take out the 1-1. I do understand why he takes it out, because he wants to preserve the damage from his face. The Knife Juggler really is a big threat with that 4 damage. But now, when you don't clear it out, the Knife Juggler gets to roam, still keep throwing his knives, creating a significant amount of pressure, destroying that 1 taunt you had fairly easily. Now there's nothing that Teuski can do, literally nothing. The game is absolutely 100% lost. Had he maybe Consecration,
I have no time for
that would
games.
be enough. And that BM. Sorry guys, I can't turn that off. I would turn it off if I could, but as a spectator, I am forced to see what the players do. Naiman will go to the finals after the 3-1 win over Teuski. And you're right, it was from the web spinner, the Gozrilla. Well, one misses some things. Good of you to give it up. And you are correct, I did see that 10 minutes in the future. You guys will see this 10 minutes in the future. Once we go to the actual final match of Naiman versus Chev. No, not Chev. Peteros. And while we wait for that, the players will take a short break. I will make sure that the players get to their positions. Take a couple of minutes to break yourself. Maybe fix yourself a cup of coffee, tea, have a little bread, whatever floats your boat. We'll be right back in around 5 minutes for the Hearthstone.fi Monday night community.